Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's the Kitty G back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Raptors beating the Charlotte Hornets at home at Tampa Bay, or should I say on the road at Tampa Bay. Let's start talking Raptors. Yes. The intro is not fully ready, but we're going to get that ready. Anyways, let's get straight into it. Let's get straight into the basketball, guys. Let's get straight into everything that has to go down with this game. So let's talk about it. So if you guys can see, I got the Raptors score and everything ready for you guys right here. So today's game, we beat the Charlotte Hornets by 2 points. At the end, it became a close game, but when you really think about it, it was not that close. They kind of came back at the end. Yes, they missed a three down the stretch to make it a little bit tighter, but of course it seems a lot closer than it was because we did have a poor fourth quarter, only getting 12 points in the fourth quarter. At halftime, we were up with a convincing lead at that time, and then they kind of drew it back a little bit closer at halftime. Third quarter did go our way. Fourth quarter, we completely collapsed. We did not overall play well. But today was a come out party for Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher had a night to remember. He got himself a career high 25 points. If you guys can see that, he got himself a career high 25 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. Once again, blocking everything that comes his way, as you guys can see right there, getting 2 blocks this game. His outstanding field goal percentage with 8 and 12. Right, free throws 7 for 8, 2 threes. Chris Boucher is starting to become a star in the making. He's making the leap that we thought OG Anunoby would be making. OG Anunoby had a solid game himself, but you know what? OG Anunoby is OG Anunoby. He's not going to be this guy who carries a team. He's not going to be this guy who lifts you and puts you over the edge. He's just going to be a good player in this league, a good rotation, a starter in many teams in the NBA. I'm not taking anything away from OG Anunoby, but we want him to make a leap similar to what Jaylen Brown's making the leap, showing that he can score, showing that he can do everything to his game. And you know what? Chris Boucher is not young, guys. Chris Boucher is not a young man. This man's been in the league for a couple seasons, been at Golden State, won a championship with Golden State, yes, as a bench player, but he also won a championship with the Toronto Raptors, Canadian boy. And you know what? He is putting in the work. Chipping in on the scoring end defensively. I think the other day he had something like 7 blocks, right? Chris Boucher is absolutely putting in that work. And you know what? I rate Chris Boucher highly. And I'm happy that he's putting in the work. And I'm happy he's putting in the work and doing what he's doing. Because you know what? These guys need to show up. And after not showing up over the last couple nights, it's good to see them showing up. It's good to see them doing what they're doing. It's good to see that they can actually put in some work and make some buckets for us, because that's what we need from them. That's what we've needed from them for a while now. And you know what? I'm just going to pull this up, show you guys the team comparisons, show you guys how it broke down between the two teams. Because, of course, if you really look at it quarter by quarter, it's quite simple. We were not good enough in the late end of the game, but our early runs gave us the lead and the comfortability to not worry. At one point, we were actually down by 8 points, and then we quickly turned it around with a 9-point lead. Get down from 8 to a 1-point lead, and then we start rocketing off from there in the second quarter. The second quarter is where we really started to take our form and started doing well. As you can see here, when it comes to they out rebounded us. We got more assists, of course. We were more defensive, but points in the paint, they destroyed us in the points in the paint. They got 50 points in the paint, second chance points, right? And then the rest of the stuff I'm not really going to worry about. 3-point percentage, everything else can fluctuate throughout games. But I just wanted to show you guys how much they destroyed us in points in the paint. They absolutely destroyed us in points in the paint. We're struggling to get buckets. We're struggling to get easy buckets. They could slow it down on us, and we would not be able to get buckets. And you know what? It's worrying that in a game that I felt like at times we had full control of, at the end, they kind of clawed their way back into the game. And we can't seem to be closing teams out as early as we used to close them out years in the past. If it wasn't for Chris Boucher's heroics, and I would say heroics again because he was heroic in this game, he did put in some work. He did show us that he can ball and he can do what he needs to be done on a given night. And you know what? Chris Boucher, big up to Chris Boucher, because Without his heroics tonight, we probably would not have won this game 100%. And in addition to some guys making their shots late in game, right? We did have some guys making their shots late in the game. Let me show you guys how things ended in the fourth quarter, because it was a little bit of a scare in the fourth quarter, thinking that they were surging back and we could barely get a bucket. Like, if you can see here, there was a crucial miss. PJ Washington missed that shot. If he would have made that shot, it would have been a tie game with 3.4 seconds left, right? And then obviously the rebound, and then Graham takes a crazy shot, which had no chance of going in, absolutely no chance of going in. But before that, right? Before that, there was the game was before that, the game was already getting out of hand. The game was getting out of hand. Like, the game was getting out of hand. Just going back play by play. But if I can show you guys the halftime lead that we had, going into halftime, I mean, end of the second quarter, right? We had ourselves a good like 8 point lead, right? But at a certain point in that second quarter, there was a big swing. Like, they were up at one point. And we were struggling. Like, I just want to show you guys right here. So they were up, and they came out in the second quarter, put it on us, and then we kind of started to work our way back in. And you know what? All in all, I'll tell you this: if the Raptors continue to just control the paint and not let people get into the paint and get whatever they want, because today a lot of these guys got whatever they wanted. Bismack Biyombo had himself a field day on the rebounds, even though Charlotte Hornets went small. You got PJ Washington putting up numbers against us, right? Devontae Graham shot well. A guy who usually shoots horrendously, he shot well. It just goes to show you our guards were not defending well. Scary Terry had himself a good night, right? LaMelo Ball had himself a good night. A lot of these guys had themselves a good night, but it was empty calories, because some of these guys, they were not actually impacting the game in a winning format. The two guys that were impacting the game were Miles Bridges and Devontae Graham. Miles Bridges and Devontae Graham were involved in everything good that was going on with them, right? And even some of these guys that you think put up big numbers, they did not really impact the game as much when you're actually watching the game. The main two guys that I noticed that were impacting the game consistently was every time Charlotte got away from it, Devontae Graham hits a big three. Every time that we look away, we see Miles Bridges getting a putback dunk or just getting in there, causing havoc, right? Some of these guys like Malik Monk, LaMelo Ball, yes, they contributed, but they weren't really like the game changers. Now, on the Raptor side of things, let's be honest. Kyle Lowry is Mr. Toronto. He literally is the key to everything that goes on with Toronto. I know Chris Boucher was a big part of this win. Even though Chris Boucher scored 25 points and he had all these things going on, and he's such a defensive monster, it just goes to show you with the plus minus. When Kyle Lowry's on the court, we scored 14. We outscored our opponents by 14 points. He had a plus minus of 14 in a game that we won by 2 points. No, 3 points. Like, let's be honest, guys. It's not a surprise that we need we need Kyle Lowry to be Kyle Lowry. Like, he needs to be the man that he is, week in, week out, every single time. Like, I'm very happy with the win. I'm happy with the result. I'm happy with the overall. We got over the line, because after losing the last two games against Golden State and Portland by 1 point back to back, I'm happy we got the win. I don't mind how we got it, but we need to improve. And you know what? We got lucky today. We're not going to get lucky every single time. It wasn't pretty, but we got the job done. And you know what? Chris Boucher led the way for the Raptors today to win getting 25 points and 10 rebounds off the bench. You know what? Chris Boucher, 25 points. I think it's his career high, right? He almost got a triple double, I think. Like, big up to him, man. Big up to Chris Boucher. And you know what, guys? Thanks for watching. If it's the first time you're watching, I'm going to be doing more Raptors reactions. And yeah, have yourselves a great night, ladies and gentlemen. We're out of here. Peace.